Derek, here in Houston. We're at the Houston Fed. Today is September 22nd, 2012. This is End the Fed, national action taking place in 20 different cities around the country: Philly, Chicago, New York, of course, San Antonio, Dallas, and California. All across the country, people are rallying at the Federal Reserve. We're out here today. We've got different groups from Gary Johnson supporters, Ron Paul supporters, anarchists, Anonymous, Guy Fawkes mask wearers, Houston Freethinkers, and other people out here just trying to raise awareness on the Federal Reserve. And we're cooking some food. We've got flyers, we've got shirts, we've got info, and we're passing it to the people who are coming by on the streets. As far as we're concerned out here, what we're trying to really do with Houston, I know a lot of people are still into doing like the rallies with a bunch of people speaking. There's nothing wrong with that. I kind of feel, and I think the general consensus out here is that we're kind of past that point. It's time for us to focus on what we can do. You know, we've all been to rallies where people talk about the Fed, and if you don't know why the Fed's bad, then you need to read a book or go watch a YouTube video, because the information's out there. You know, it's not time to rehash old things. Let's focus on solutions. So we're launching our Houston Exchange Network, which is, you know, it's influenced and supported by our friends in Austin, John Bush. They created the Black and Yellow Pages, which is similar to what we're doing. Basically, we're going to set up an economy that's based on either silver or barter. So we've got 15 businesses so far, ranging from bicycle stores, AC, automotive places, garden work, web design, different things, people who will accept silver or will barter with you or any other thing. And so we're going to put that together as an alternative to the Federal Reserve note, to the dollar, so that as our currency continues to lose its purchasing power, people out here in Houston have an alternative. So please seek alternatives like that. You know, it's time for us to get past talking. The Audit the Fed bill is out there. We can support that, but we can also do things right here on the ground today to make changes. So we're going to just be out here today talking to people. I think Cody's going to go around and ask people maybe what they think about the Fed, why they're here. And stay tuned, guys. Watch some of the other feeds.
Okay. Hi everybody, we got a good turnout here for Federal Reserve Action Day. Got all kinds of signs here. We got our friend Paul. What's this fine citizen got to say? What's up?
We're here to make sure they shut this monstrosity down over here.
That we are. That we are.
Castle Grayskull.
Then we have Michael Graves, Target Artist Design Building. We have this lady here. You want to tell us what you're out here for?
Protesting the Federal Reserve.
What's wrong with the Fed? Governors, competition in banking, fundraising goals.
Alright, this dollar bill right here, this Federal Reserve note, this piece of linen and cotton is the symbol of your slavery to $16 trillion of debt, to unsound money that is worth less and less the more they inflate it. We are slaves to this valueless piece of paper. We choose to not be slaves anymore. We choose to be free.
I think we need some help.
Yeah, who has fire?
Let's all free ourselves from emancipation.
There we go. Now we got it burning.
Bitch.
In the Fed.
Yeah.
Now it's Pyramid was the last to go on that.
Hey, go to Facebook and check out the Houston Exchange Network. If you own a business, small business, single person business, whatever, and you're willing to barter or trade in silver or gold or any alternative currency to the Federal Reserve note, the dollar, contact us. We're going to start getting businesses listed. We've got hardware stores, we've got web design work, gardening work, AC, automotive work, all kinds of different things. We need to build a community that's based on something other than the dollar. The dollar is going to crash soon. The Fed just announced quantitative easing, unlimited QE3. The dollar is going to go down. Oil and food prices will rise. You need to be prepared. You need to get yourself on something other than the dollar. So look up the Houston Exchange Network. Find it on Facebook. We're going to really be building it over the next couple months, guys.
That dude with the coat shirt?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He was the only one here. I was whether you know it. Still shy.
Well, the reason I came out is, I mean, to either audit, rein in, or, you know, flat out end the Federal Reserve. And the reasons why a lot of people don't know what the Fed is, don't understand what it is, don't know it, never heard of it, know nothing about monetary policy. And the big thing that I try and get across to people is that the Fed is what allows for the big government. The things that we don't like, the wars and all the huge wasteful spending, the welfare state, all these things that we don't like are made possible by the Fed. Because if the government didn't have this lender of last resort in the Fed, they would have to increase our taxes enough to be able to pay for the wars, to pay for the social programs that are unnecessary, to pay for the big spending projects, the bridge to nowhere, all that stuff. But instead they have the Fed, so they can just inflate the monetary supply, inflate the currency, and they can just monetize all this debt away. So they can borrow money from China, and to pay it off they can just inflate the debt and then pay them off in dollars that become worth less and less to us. That's why food costs more, that's why gas costs more, and it ends up really making, you know, lives for normal people like us a lot harder, and enriches the banksters and the government, and we're the ones who end up getting screwed and hosed in the end.
Here today at the Federal Reserve Building and the Fed rally, and representing RiotUSA.org, and here with the Houston Freethinkers, and we're trying to get rid of this monstrosity right here in Castle Grayskull. The Federal Reserve is not a federal agency; it's a private cartel of international bankers. Their job is to siphon off the wealth of the people and to reduce our standard of living, and we're just not going to take this anymore.
Well, I'm fresh from occupying Wall Street, and I really just didn't want to stop occupying shit. So I knew this was going on. I understand the meaning of the Fed, what they are and what they aren't, and for people to be out here right across the way informing others of what they are and what they aren't, that's something I wholeheartedly support. And again, occupy everything.
Out here to inform the people about the Federal Reserve and hang out with some cool friends, talk about what we're going to do next. Launching of the Houston Exchange Network, a barter silver exchange network for goods and services in the Houston area. We've got a list of demands here, bills that are in Congress, including S202. If you haven't contacted your representative, please do. To audit the Fed, put a little sunlight on that entity that's watering down our money and causing all these economic difficulties that we're having. But mostly I'd like to urge people to find other solutions for themselves, not to keep all their money in the Federal Reserve note. They might think those are dollars, but like this sign says, a dollar is a unit of measure, like a gallon or a mile. You know, it's a unit of measure. You can't just put a gallon of milk in the fridge and have some arbitrary power decide that there's 2% less every time you go there until it's gone. And that's what they've done to the dollar. They've changed it into a meaningless token economy, and it's really a toxic asset. A dollar is supposed to be 3/4 of an ounce of silver, or at least have some stability. Everything the Fed was given in its charter, you know, to be accountable to the Congress, to be accountable to the American people, and to be responsible for, you know, maintaining low inflation, good job growth. They failed on everything they were even tasked with doing. Never mind that they should never have even been created to do this. So, you know, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The bill to audit passed the House. Now we got to get it through the Senate. Getting out here, all different types of people, different backgrounds, don't agree on everything, but they do know they don't want a fiat token slave economy. If you don't know about it, check out Fiat Empire. If you're watching this, you probably know. So thanks for watching. Love you guys.
Hey, check out on Facebook Houston Exchange Network. That's where our big focus is going to be going towards as far as Federal Reserve action. We'll always be out here on the streets of the Fed. We've been coming here for 2 years plus. We're going to keep coming as often as we can, and we try to have information, flyers, and DVDs for people who don't know what's going on. As Micah mentioned, Fiat Empire, you can look up Money Masters, you can look up Freedom to Fashion. There's a lot of good documentaries that talk about the Fed, so read a book, look up documentary. Once you recognize what the Fed's doing and that it's unnecessary and that we don't need chains on our economy, on our freedom, on our money, look for alternatives, look for solutions. So that's what we're trying to seek. We're always trying to find a community-based alternative, a community-based solution to what we're doing. One
thing I'd like to add is it's illegal. The Federal Reserve is really unconstitutional, and the Constitution is the law of the land. It's what gives us, it's what codifies our freedoms that we have naturally. And Article 1, Section 8 and Article 1, Section 10, if you just read those two sections, you'll see that the Federal Reserve is unconstitutional. It's an illegal private banking cartel.
Arrest the banksters.
Arrest the banksters. Big banksters don't
neither Obama or Romney are going to end the Fed or going to go after the people, which you have to recognize just briefly, we talked about Occupy. People call for occupying Wall Street and ending the Fed, but we have to recognize that they're part of the same machine. The banks, the banksters behind them, and the government, and the corporations all work together against us. They are one monster.
It's called corporatism.
It's a corporatist fascist state that we live in, and it's here and it's now today. So we need to recognize that neither one of the puppet masters, the puppets that they're showing us, are going to save us. Only we can do that. So
two puppets, one hand.
Free yourself.